Yep. Yes.
Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. So I got the chance to go to MWC thanks to the folks over at EE. They were kind enough to take me. So I just want to tell you a little bit about what happened and what I thought about some of the big announcements. First up, if you ever get a chance to go to Barcelona, don't hesitate, just go. It's a beautiful city with incredible culture that's full of great weather, people, architecture, and food. So as soon as I got there, it all kicked off with LG announcing, as you all know, the G6. The buzz was cool. It's always nice to see everyone in the same place. The conference was slick, had many key speakers from the industry, and even a celeb or two. The best thing about this phone for me, and probably many, is the screen, with the main feature being the aspect ratio of 18:9. Award-winning DP Vittorio Storaro came out on stage to profess his love for the format and how it's the perfect blend between TV's 16:9 and CinemaScope. Beneath the sales pitch, there is actually something quite awesome about this wider aspect, not only for content but for the form factor and subsequent resolution. So there's now more vertical room, giving a taller appearance, but when you match that with Dolby Vision HDR support, a wider color gamut, all in a package with extremely thin bezels, there's definitely a lot going on for the screen. The software has made use of this aspect ratio too. LG conducted research to see typically how people use their phones and how to make the most from it. Anyway, it's looking like a cool phone that should hopefully just do everything really well, which is what we want ideally from a phone. But hey, in typical fashion, before the conference could even come to a close, it was off to Huawei. The queue was just insane to begin with, but after bumping into a few familiar faces and making our way inside, it really just dawned how serious Huawei are this year to make a difference. The main takeaway from the launch is definitely the design and the camera they've chosen to go with, but more importantly, the reasons why. The whole thing seems really well refined, taking into account the intangible aspects that make phones more than just mere phones. With that, the design is awesome, featuring interesting colors governed by things like the Pantone color of the year, and a really nice texture on the back thanks to a hypercut diamond process. It kind of feels somewhat similar to those hologram cards that you couldn't help but scratch. Anyway, my favorite part is definitely the camera. They've paired up with Leica again, but now the P10 Plus features a new Summilux H lens, which means an aperture of 1.8. I really can't wait to test this out, as the monochrome sensor is one of my favorite things. So basically how it works is that the monochrome sensor gets all the information, detail, clarity, and then draws in a color from the other. Beyond that, Huawei were keen to stress hardware which works in conjunction with software to enhance portrait mode, to give you that Leica look, as they say. You know what, from what I saw, it looked pretty good. The press conference bonanza ended with what could have been my favorite announcement, and that's the Xperia XZ Premium from Sony. First up, I think the name is a total mistake. The phone is vastly different from the XZ and would totally benefit from being a new line of device altogether. Either way, this phone is shaping up to be a media junkie's dream. The Premium has the world's first 4K HDR panel, which comes in at 5.5 inches, so not extraordinarily large compared to some of its predecessors. So here's Sony partnering with Amazon Prime to offer HDR content, and this is a good step forward as it will make finding HDR content simple and straightforward. From what I saw, it truly looked excellent with beautifully rich colors and a more realistic dynamic range. To make this possible, the Premium is also one of the first to reach gigabit class LTE speeds, which kind of makes sense why EE suggested I go. They're going to be one of the first providers to support these speeds in the UK. Anyway, the camera is pretty sweet too. Sony have now added memory modules to their camera stack, which essentially allows it to film in super slow motion, up to 960 frames in fact, which is just incredible. The resolution is limited to 720p and the duration is limited to around 180 frames, but when stretched out, it really does look awesome. The extra memory also allows the camera to start buffering shots as soon as motion is detected, so that when taking a picture, there is zero lag. I'm super excited about this one, but generally it's just good to see where smartphone cameras are going. Unfortunately, the XZ Premium units weren't actually working, so we'll have to wait and see, but what I can say is that this is one good looking phone. I've always been a fan of Sony, and despite their mistakes, their design has always been exquisite, and this is no different. Yes, this is going to be a massive fingerprint magnet, but I just can't help but love the chrome finish and the subtle curves and hints of color. So this year's MWC didn't see any crazy new discoveries. It was just full of refinement and the continual drive to make tech fit our lives better. So it's going to be interesting to see what these devices are in everyday use. That's it, I'm done. Hopefully I can get some of these to you real soon so we can really see if these features are as good as they claim to be. Thanks so much for watching and making MWC possible. Take it easy, and I'll see you soon.